Okay, the next thing to remember when you're putting these together, make sure, see how these little carbon fiber plates have a little slot in them? Make sure you're lining it up with this so that it fits in there perfectly. This on the outside, and the screws that came in the bag with the carbon fibers and these little back mounting plates, use those. Don't use the ones that came in the little packages, the little silver ones. You're going to be using the ones that it recommends, the socket button screws. You go through here and go into the frame, and then the backs in that spot. Okay, make sure you line up the slot correctly. Okay, quick tip for when you're getting the servos in. You got the two sides together, you've got these. It helps to have a good set of needle nose pliers so you can hold it in there in place and screw it. And it'll take a little bit of patience, but unless you've screwed the servos into the frame previously, you're gonna have to just do it again this way. Okay, now we've got the servos all set up and ready to go. We've got the throttle servo here facing towards the main shaft, the center. Cyclic servo, another cyclic servo, tail servo right here, all facing towards the center. Elevator servo is in the back side on the right, again facing towards the center where the main bearing blocks are. They're in nice and tight. We've got the plastic, no metal. Everything's, it's got enough dampening, but it's in there nice and tight. And what I like to do also is label every single one of these. Grab like a little marker and label your throttle. For me, I always go aileron for the right side and aux1 for the left side. So I name the servo on the right side, aux1, just the name of the channel that I'm going to plug it into. We're going to go ahead and plug these into the transmitter, go through the binding process. We're going to do this with a DX7 today, and go through that and start setting up the servos and the electronics and get all that stuff lined up and centered the way it should be. Okay, now that we've got the servos installed, we're just going to put some servo horns on here just to test it out. We're not going to actually have them on there like that just yet. Create a brand new model, everything default. I've already come in here and named this one 3 servos, 120, Trex 600N. It's helicopter. So we're going to come in here, again, everything default, pitch curve, throttle curve, everything. First, what we're going to do, we've got an AR7000 receiver, put the bind plug in here in the bottom. What you do is, first thing, make sure you've got all your stuff set to whatever default. If you unplug the power, whatever you bind, that's what your settings will be. So throttle down, normal throttle, or normal mode, and then apply power to the receiver here in the throttle channel. What you want to do is, see, there's the negative positive signal, negative brown, positive red, signal orange. And when it's ready to bind, you can see it flashing. So for DX7, what we do is we hold down the bind button in the back, hold it down, and then we turn on the transmitter, and then we see the lights slow down and start flashing again, and we can let go of the bind button. And once it goes solid, see how the receiver has gone solid? It means they're bound up together. So we're going to remove power from the receiver, turn off the transmitter, take out the bind plug, and we're back. The receiver and transmitter are all binded together and ready to go. Okay, next thing we're going to do, I've plugged in the cyclic servos here. What I do, I always use a methodology of the cyclic servo on the right side is my aileron, and the one on the left side is the one that I plug into the aux1 channel. You can switch these two, but you got to make sure this one's an elevator. So aileron goes into the right one, elevator, the servo in the back here, and this one on the left is going into aux1. Turning on the transmitter and scrolling through the menus here. We've got the throttle curve here in normal mode. Make sure we're in normal mode. The switch up here is all the way to the back, and right here there's an in and out. So look at the bottom here, in, out, and we're going to make sure it says 50 and 50. 50-50, and that means we're at the center stick on the throttle. So we're going to put that to the side and apply power to this. Let's see here. Okay. So first thing we want to make sure we've got going is that we have all the servos moving in the same direction, and we're going to see if we go up and down with the throttle stick what happens. So if we go up, we've got this one going up, which means as the elevator arm moves with it, it will go up. Okay. With this one over here, as I go up on the throttle, that goes down. So that has it set up so that this goes down, which is the opposite of what the other side has. And the one in the back, as I go up on the throttle, that goes down, which would make the elevator arm would go down as well. So we've got one going up and the other going down. So what we're going to want is, as we go up on the throttle, we want them all to move at least to where the elevator arms would all move in the same direction, up or down. So you can either reverse the elevator and the aileron at this point to make them all move up, or I can just reverse the aux1 and then reverse everything on my swash mix so that it goes inverted, because the default is plus 60 in the swash mix, but if I go minus 60, if it's going up with the throttle, then it'll go down. We'll right now, just to make it simple, to make them all move up, I'm going to go into my menu, and in the reversing channel I'm going to reverse, let's see, the aileron and the elevator. So channels 2 and 3, I'm reversing those right now. So we're going to check right now. We go up, this one still goes up, no change. The one in the back here, let's see, as I go up, that makes this elevator go up as well, so that one's reversed. And right here, as I go up on the throttle, this one's going to go up as well. So they're all going to go up, and we can also keep the throttle or the pitch setting exactly how we want it in the swash mix. So we've gotten through the whole servo reversing part of it. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to come back here into where you can see the in and out, and go back to 50-50 again. So you're at the middle. And then what you need to do is check the manual. Again, like it says, use the outer hole with the servo arms. See all of the sizes here. The tail rudder measured out to 187. Look at this size here, 51 millimeters in between, and make sure that you're going on the ball length, that is 61 millimeters. Up here, 32 millimeter ball length, coming down to 21 millimeter. Just look at the instructions and measure these out the way it's supposed to be. And the trick is to try to make everything as centered and 90 degrees as possible. And when it's at half stick, see, what we want to do is we're going to keep going through, see which one fits best and looks 90 degrees. That one looks pretty close, won't need any sub trim. Let's see, that one's not quite there. That one's close. But if you're not finding it with a specific arm, you know, try just another arm. Let's see, we'll pull this one out. Try to get it to where it's 90 degrees. Oh, that was the tail servo. See, that one's pretty close to 90 degrees. I want to use as little sub trim as possible if I can. That one's pretty close. See, and then we're going to go through and do the same thing with every other servo. "90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees here." And then measure the lengths. The ball lengths are supposed to be sized up as they are on the manual. Put the ball lengths in there. Size these up. Make sure you measure them exactly the way they're supposed to be, and you don't want too much buzzing when you put them on there. So we're going to take our time, go through that, make sure we select the correct servo arms, make sure you put it on the outside and the ball links are on the inside just like it says in the menu. Make sure you're at half stick so that you're measuring 90 degrees this whole time, and we'll come back and we'll review once we've got that set up.